Welcome back. Glad you made it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me once again. It is Friday, May the 22nd, 2026. Thank you for joining me. If you're tuning in from Canada, if it's Toronto, shout out to you. If you're joining us from the West Coast, over there in Vancouver, further down south, the United States of the Americas, of course, all 50 states, Florida, over there in California, Arizona, Phoenix, over there, doesn't matter, all the 50s, there's so many states. Further down south, Mexico, over there, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, of course, Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, Nairobi, Senegal, over there in Thailand. Hello to the lady boys, and the ladies, and the men's, and the women's, and the men's, women's. Because you got the lady boys, you gotta have you get it. Everybody essentially. The animalia, particles, in the water, in the desert, in a tent, in an igloo, French kissing in an igloo, cultural appropriation by the Eskimos, no big deal. Stick to your Eskimo kissing or whatever, try it out, try French kissing as well, it doesn't matter. The point is, neither here or there. Thank you for joining me. Let's get a sip of this. Big exciting events are unraveling before our eyes. Let us begin with having the funs, if we may, please, because it is Friday after all. Let's get loose, let's have a little bit of fun, and talk about your future in terms of the present right now as well, and who you're going to be dating in the near future. 4 new candidates have been added to the social fabric of life, if you will. You no longer, we're done with regular human breeding. New aliens have been, again, this is stuff that you heard about maybe outside of the status quo sort of narrative and talk and whatever. You had fun with your friends, but now I guess it's the CIA, and this is on regular network TV. It's coming out. I think it was Fox that put it out. 4 types of aliens have been identified that came out of a spaceship, according to the CIA. They got them. They got the bodies. We got the Greys, we got the reptilians, we got the insectoids, and then we got the Nordics. Not in that particular order. There may be more. Your dating pool just expanded, so congratulations. Now I know this is going to take some time. Like we've always, it's everybody. It's going back historically to our own species. We've always only interbred with people who look like us. Eventually, we broke free from that, or maybe it was free from the beginning. Then we started to mate with only your you stick with the tribe because you never knew what the other tribe was up to. So that was the stick with your own. Eventually people, again, I don't know how it all started. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But now we're going from humans, human to human breeding. We're going to interspecies lovemaking. And this is, let's break it down. Who do and because that's the thing, you don't know. You could be on your college campus studying hard. Next thing you know, there's a party happening. And it's friggin' lights are out, or there's like minimal lighting. There's music that you listen to. Music's going on. Next thing you know, drinks are being passed out. Next thing you know, popping pills. Next thing you know, what are you gonna do? Dance, grind with the? Do you proceed if you see an insectoid, a reptilian, a Nordic, and/or a Grey on the dance floor? What do you do? How do you even identify them? Let's break it, because this is just a lot to unpack. We gotta again help each other together as the public, public is basically pubic with an L, so keep that in mind moving forward. Gotta identify them first in order to be able to make love to them. The Greys, let's start with the Greys. Could be, I don't know, I'm gonna say they're, gray shade, they're the shade of gray. They probably have gray skin. Mouth, eyes, ears, not quite sure. Sort of like the drawings that we've seen all over the, throughout history, the Greys, that's typical alien. It's, doesn't seem to be showing genitalia in the drawings that we've seen, but we don't know what we're working with essentially. But it doesn't even, love is love. It doesn't even matter at this point. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say big head, tiny, tiny body, big head, long fingers, and again, overall gray. And you popped a couple of, MDMA pills, and maybe he or she it popped a few MDMA pills, and now it's just you're feeling love, and you're grinding up and down on one another, and next thing you know, it's 6 months into your relationship, you fall in love with this gray motherfucker, which I don't know. Again, maybe do they call themselves the Greys? Is that, did we introduce ourselves as humans and did they say gray, or did they say, or could they be low key? Could this be the gay aliens? Could this be the gay aliens? Maybe this is their gay. Maybe we got gays. They got grays. Maybe that's their thing. Which would not help us in the lovemaking sesh with them, but nonetheless, we're gonna try our best because we want to you want to go in with a great attitude. We want to say that our species. We don't know how you got here, all right? But clearly you have some tech that is, it's out of this world. So, we're not going to be, looking down our noses. I don't know, is it looking down our noses or looking up our noses? We're not going to be looking at our noses when we're talking to you guys and think that we're better than this. It doesn't matter. Typically we go for, tits, ass, clitori, ovaries. Those are the things that get us going, and and hard dick for the ladies, and again our gays. But the grays, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think once you turn off the lights, it all more or less feels the same. So, and you're gonna get a little bit of backlash. Again, think about the times that we went through history, periodically having again sticking with the clan and then going out there and mating with other people from different clans. Think about that, the backlash that got. We have something, so we got to get ahead of this. So now you've come, it's a year and a half. You've been dating in secret with your gray. Now you got to come out to your family and friends and say, I'm coming out. You got to have a coming out party. You're now interbreeding with another species. So this is, you thought your grandpa or your aunt had, differing views on life and whatnot. And then that was just concerning people. This is a whole brand new species that we're talking about. Does it drool? Does it come a lot? Does it not come at all? Does it have, what about erogenous zones? What about, does it sweat? Do they smell? Is there no odor? Do they, it's so many things. So many people are going to be asking a lot of questions, but again, you need to lead with love is love. I'm gonna assume I bet they're probably really tight in the puss, and probably the male ones, if they've got them, they probably have huge dicks. Because that's the thing. They don't leave, the drawings don't, or the depictions never talk of the dicks. And whenever you hear somebody not ever talk about, the dicks, they're probably packing if they're male. So I'm gonna guess thin necks, not that killer of a body, but probably packing, probably a 12-inch. It's probably most all cock. That's probably where all the tech is. You're like, save energy by forget. You don't need a big butt if you got a big, maybe it's got like a 24-inch huge penis that we don't ever, draw in our drawings or depict or even talk about. Or like swindly body, it must be, weak or whatever. It's just walking with a hammer and a limp. You don't know. And they're females, of course, if they've got them, they probably, oh man, it's probably like, that's probably the black hole. That's probably the black hole. I say you put it in and you probably disappear inside. Just sucks you in like a vacuum. Go towards the light. Take a walkie-talkie with you. Beep us back. Let us know what's going on the other side. So these are the things that you're gonna have to explain to your parents, to your friends, relatives, co-workers, essentially. And there's gonna be some people who are gonna be supportive, of course. There's gonna be loved ones who say, love is love, sweetheart. Baby boy, baby girl, we're just happy you found someone finally. Thank God. And that's fantastic. Birthdays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Columbus Day. That's Columbus Day, but Lumbus. That's what they call them on the streets. Lumbus. It's that Lumbus Day. Social gatherings with family and friends are going to be no problem, and you're going to have a great time. Take photographs, build the memories, dry hump the turkey, stuff yourself, and by that I mean it's Thanksgiving or a few days beforehand. You want to just stretch it out, not just the turkey, but got to make room in there. So get to fist yourselves and your loved ones, whoever's coming over, to make room for the food that you're going to be chomping down on, neither here or there. Again, good time spent, but now with a new addition to the fam, a gray, which again, it's gonna be fine. That one's fine. So that's the gray. No problem. There's going to be some people who aren't going to be supportive. They're going to be bigots about this shit. You don't think they're going to be bigots about interbreeding with other alien? Again, look what happened to humans and what is happening over in our history. So we're going to have a little bit of backlash. It's not going to be everybody's going to be on board with, oh yeah, look, so you're going to get some hate. I'm not going to say it's brave to, mate with them, because we don't want to put those labels on. There's nothing brave about it, but it doesn't need to be, how do I feel about it? I'm not, me, dog. If forget about how I feel about it, because there might be, I'm indifferent about it. I'm indifferent. I'll do whatever it takes for nation and state, for the future of mankind. I'll do whatever it takes. If need be, I'll get in there. But that's forget me. What about the ones that aren't so, willing to do things for the love of the game, for the love of the nation, for for the motherland, for fatherland, for whatever, for whatever it is, for the land, for the, for. What about them? They're, because you're gonna be, you walk into a grocery store and there might be some guy in there that's just like, gawking at you, pointing with his family. Look at these freaks and here you are trying to make a good impression to your gray alien lover, and here's this, human making a mockery out of your relationships. You're gonna have to deal with that. Not everybody's gonna be, oh, look at that bunch of freaks. We don't want no grays up in here. They'll say that. Some people, it's a private establishment. You might want to go to your favorite pub, and that's where they might draw the line. They might be like, everyone except the grays. There'll be signs posted, no grays up in this bitch. And you might have to march a few times, like the people, some people did some time ago, I'm sure at one point people marched. You might have to march, putting your gray on your neck, going out there. There's going to be people who support you on the left or right, doesn't matter. It's just any side, really. And then there's going to be people who are not supportive. They're like, oh, get out of here, you gray lover. Look at these gray lovers. Abomination. Or, defamation. Or something, something. Shit. Just throwing a tomato at you. Or like, jizzing on you as you walk by, spitting in your face. You're going to have to put up with that, because it's not going to be an easy. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be easy. So and that's just the grays. Those are the ones that we're, sort of kind of familiar with. You got the Nordics. This one's going to be, I would say, again, if you had to, I'd say between the four, go with the Nordic. Sounds like the obvious one. It sounds like it's closest to just, beautiful Scandinavians. So go with the Nordic if you get a chance. But the other ones are still, I don't know, what about, or is that also code? Is that also like, Nordics? They're like, what if they got no dicks? And I'm fine with that. But what about, I don't want our female population getting, antsy and worried because now we got these new Nordics, which is basically all puss. That's what they should be called, all puss, instead of Nordics. Dick here, dick there, Nordics, they're like no dick. So I'm a little bit concerned with that one in terms of jealousy from our female populace, because they're, or maybe they call themselves the Nordics because they've got, maybe they have enough dicks and they don't want more dicks, or like, no, they only, maybe it's the reverse. They're like the no dicks. They're like, keep your male, we want your female. Maybe that's what they're trying to assert with their names. We're the Nordics. We've got enough dicks, so then that could be that I could see how things could get hostile there fast too, boy. Jeez, things are, it's uncharted territories we're stepping into. And you're like, why do that? Again, you wait around for other people to do it, it might not ever get done. And that's the thing. It's coming along down the pipeline. So I'm just helping, if I may, one tiny step at a time to help ease these relationships. Tall, they're like 7-8 feet tall. I said we get our tall folks. We get our tall folks and just send them forward first. And a few names do come in mind. A couple of basketball players can probably get in there. A couple of brothers can probably get in there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with the Nordics. And then you got the reptilians. We've heard of these ones as well. I think these are the ones that they talk about, that they're just walking amongst us. I think we've sort of kind of we've heard about these. I think these are, these are the ones that probably, you've seen people glitching on TV sometimes. You've seen people, with flaky skin sometime, or like, you see people with, it's just a walking liver spot. And you've probably seen that. So it's probably the reptilians, or That one's going to be, it's not going to be as easy in terms of PR. Not a lot of people say, you know, reptilian doesn't have that like positive. This one's probably going to get the most backlash. You know, reptilians don't have that. You know, if you call somebody a reptilian, you're like, you're a lizard, you're a fucking lizard. You know what I'm talking about, dog. It's not that. It doesn't have that positive connotation to it. So that one's going to take a little bit more time. So I say we ease in with the Nordics and the Greys first, and then you got the insectoids, and that's probably, you know, as difficult as the reptilians, trying to explain that to people, you know, trying to normalize. And you fall in love, man. I want to support you. I want to support you. So I say, yes, love is love, I suppose. And we got to, you know, we need some are they just cockroaches? Large cockroaches, I'm assuming. Insectoids, or like, God, what if they smell like cockroaches and they're large? But what if the puss is tight? What if it's the best puss but on a large cockroach, and you fall in love with its giant black beady eyes just staring at you, know, with its antlers and shit, just fucking just with this it's got a crunchy back, but it's smooth. I'm guessing it's smooth. What if it smells hard? What if it just smells like pure ass? Just pure, just like 1,000 asses. What if it smells like dead corpses' asses, but it's got the tightest puss, and you fall in love? So I'm gonna try to be supportive of that. But again, not everyone's gonna be like that. They're gonna be like, cockroach lover, insect lover, get him out of here. The establishment doesn't care for insect lovers. Get him out of here. You might get jumped. You might get jumped outside, because people aren't gonna understand, man. You got that top down with your big bat insectoid. You know, you put a couple of, you know, you put bikinis on those tits. You know, it's still a large cockroach with bikinis. But you know, people aren't gonna get it, man. Not everybody's gonna be supportive, lady. Not everybody's gonna be supportive. So we got our work cut out for us. I'm glad we have this out there. We've got them allegedly. Again, this is now entering from the periphery into the main, merging as one. What is it? Who is it? Where is it? Why is it? When is it? All good questions. Thank you for asking. And again, I hope that this has helped. I myself, of course, I dove right in. I have since. I'm not gonna lie. I tried all four. I've tried all four. And again, best bet to move forward is, you know, start with a Nordic, then the Greys, then the, you know, flip a coin with the insectoids and the lizards. But they're all, you know, it's all, I say, yeah, it's all good times. It's all good times. Yes. At times I felt like my cock was melting off my body. Did I have like, you know, buyer's remorse? It felt acidic. I'm not gonna lie to you. It felt acidic. I felt like but also it felt good at the same time. It felt good. It felt like I'm about to dissolve from my genital. But I came, and that was it. Since the load, there has been some rashes but I think that's just, again, I'm not quite sure if, I'm not gonna take it to a doctor, to be honest with you. That's what we've got, the AI chatbots. Please, I'm gonna take a picture of it later on and upload it. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, you know, of course, you know me. No, we didn't use any protection either. It was just raw dog, just fucking animal instincts kicking in, and one of us is pregnant. I'm not sure which one of us. I've been having a little, you know, I felt a little bit, you know, different in my tum, but it could just be IBS as well. It could just be gas too. I don't know. We high-fived. All of us high-fived at the end, and I had a good time. So please try it out, have some fun, or don't be part of the crowd that's like, oh, we don't want to mate with aliens. Be that guy from the past. Be that guy. There's probably more as well. So this is just the beginning. There's probably more species that we're gonna get acquainted with. Nonetheless, speaking on things that we're familiar with, twerking candidates and the bitches and the host. Welcome to the show. Thank you. It is Friday. Shelby Campbell, if I'm not mistaken. Shelby Campbell, she's a candidate for a congressional candidate, I think, or something along those lines. I don't know. She's a candidate, and she's 32. I don't know if she's a mom or not, but she's in that age range where she could be a MILF. And she's twerking, The people on the streets and on the internet are talking. Should a female candidate twerk or not? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Hard take, skirt. I'm here for it. And if you've been with me for, if you follow these episodically, they're not totally connected, but every once in a while, certain stories do pop up that may have some residue. And this is. I did speak on this topic a few, episodes ago. I forget which episode, to be honest with you, and that doesn't matter. We said, should politicians or anyone in government dance? I had a hard opinion, and I said no to that. I'm like, no, because I saw a health minister in like Hungary or something celebrating dancing. I'm like, this is, we shouldn't have politicians dancing, because you don't want somebody with a message also being able to, dance well. And I said no to that. But then this instance, I see this bitch, 32-year-old Shelby Campbell, congressional candidate, twerking, and I think I've done a full whatever. I've turned around all the way, whatever the number of degrees. I've done a full 45, dog. I've done like this isn't math. This isn't math class. I've done a full circle. I've done a semicircle that. No way. Semicircle would be the opposite. I did a full semicircle. I did a full semicircle on that shit. I did a 180. I did a 180. And I might do a 360 at one point in the future. I'm not married to this. I'm not married to the whole, because it's a circle, and that's life. So a few episodes ago to dancing for anyone in government. Fast forward to today, in the present, Shelby Campbell, 32-year-old MILF, twerking to make her way to the Congress. I say yes. More of it. Parentheses, no male dancers in any aspect of the government. If you're working with the government, if you're a male, no dancing. The hoes get to dance. That's it. Somebody etched that in stone, because far too often we're making, fast money, fast cash, building these condos that all look the same, and these will not last. And, we're not going to be looking back at 1,000 years from now and be like, look at these great condos. We're going to lose a lot of these, we're making money right now. That doesn't matter. So I'm saying etch the stone, so the host shall danceth, if they may choose to work in the government also. That somebody etches verbatim, please. We're going to have to remember certain things. We're going to have to remember the bitches shall dance up in this bitch. Etch it like that. Etch it and make the stone echo. If you want, put a speaker in the stone so like people pass by and says, the bitches shall dance. Yeah. Talking bitches. If they choose to work in the governments as well, they should get a chance to clap them cheeks. That's what it should say. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, I'm here for it, because we don't have that. We could use it. Whatever the cause is, whatever they're, if you're like, we need to raise money in the government to feed the whatever, to, we need to build trees, It's hard to get people excited about anything unless you get twerking hoes. You get twerking hoes in front of a whatever issue it may be, blind children. How do we get more blind? We're trying to raise money for us to have more blind kids, whatever the cause may be, handicaps. What about, let's, we need to, enough for the handicaps, but what about like the people with, caps that are not hand related, what about other, why is it always the handicapped? If you want to confront that issue, twerking hoe in front of, all other body part caps, the titty cap, that bitch got, a deflated titty, let's raise some money for her. But we don't do that, because we always focus on what? Just one topic, the handicapped, just capping with too many hands or no hands at all, and we forget the other body parts. Well, you put a twerking hoe in front of any of those issues revolving around our health, it'll get resolved like butter melts on the frying pan. It's as easy as that, unless you just like took it out of the freezer and you forgot to leave it outside or in the fridge, and it's going to take a little bit longer because it's like frozen butter now. But eventually, it will melt, and that's the basis of like you want to. Butter's good. Eat butter. That's the basis of the good. You want to make nice sunny side up. You fucking melt that butter. What are we even talking about? How do we even get to butter? It doesn't matter. Torquing, ladies and gentlemen, bring it. I want to see her in Congress. I want to see her go as high as she can. And eventually, who knows? You know, to bigger issues. Yeah, it might be, you know, titty cat bitches one day. And it might be, you know, getting to go overseas and like discussing topics with, you know, things that need to be dealt with. Like how do we, you know, whatever the issue may be, whether it's AI or like nukes, whatever it may be, you know, because we do try different things. We like to try different things, you know. Get this bitch with her torquing ass in Kim Jong-un's face, rubbing that clit up and down and talking nukes or something, you know, whatever. Like let's unify the Koreas by clit rubbing. That's what I say. So I want to see her go far. I want to see her go places. I want to see her torque more. I do want to see a little bit more. And I'm not saying this just for me. If I may, you know, use this opportunity, this platform, to just, you know, we'd like to see people have said this to be on the streets as I walk up and down, be like, get Shelby Campbell to wear, you know, skimpy bathing suits or like low-key no bathing suit, but just like cover the nips and like the tiniest of bikinis, like bottoms, G-string, twerking, solving issues, affordable housing. It's probably not gonna happen, but it's better if you have a twerking hoe doing the work, running around, titties fucking bouncing up and down, waving papers and like, you know, catching a baby mid-fall, throwing it to the deep end, touchdown, score. What happens? Fireworks, eagles flying by, jets doing loop-de-loops. Fucking America, baby. Welcome to the show. It's fucking America. Let's go. Shelby Campbell, 2020, whatever, you know. So I'm here for it. Overall take, we did a 180 on that one topic. And I might fucking, again, you never know. I might do a 270 next week. I'm married to these ideas. What are we even talking about? Shelby Campbell, Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. It is Friday after all. Gotta let the looseness get loose up in this bitch. Drop in rope, ladies and gentlemen. Drop in rope. I gotta say, this was pretty fucking badass. Shout out to the Marines. We just dropped some rope on some Iranian oil tankers to reinforce the blockade. And I saw this video. It dropped rope. The Marines went there, got in the heli, dropped the rope, and then you know what ensues, dog. You drop the rope, you fucking slide up and down the rope. Mostly up. That's how he does it. Drops the rope, slides up and down on the rope. Fucking get on the tanker. Oh, I love dropping rope. Never dropped rope. Shot rope, shot plenty of rope. Shot some rope last night. Dropping rope, that's a different business. If you want to drop the rope, you got to get high. You got to get really, you know, fucking helicopters. Altitudes, flying cars, fucking, you know, supersonic jets and shit, and then drop the rope. God, it's so exciting to just, that should be the future. Fuck, you know, the time travel, all the dropping rope should be I want to enter rooms and spaces in general. I want to go via dropping rope. I want to walk into a coffee shop from the ceiling via rope out of preferably some sort of a helicopter. I'm not gonna lie, the helicopter factor added a lot to it. Overall, I like dropping rope. I've not done it yet. If we could team up with a, you know, rope dropping company, if Big Rope Drop wants to get in here, I'm not opposed to Big Rope Drop just coming in here and, you know, moving forward. I might just drop rope and enter the podcast from the ceiling. God, I want to do that so bad. Big Rope Drop, if you're listening out there, I'm just saying, I'm avails. Fucking, I put the cards on the table. These are the cards on the table. I likes the drops of the ropes from ceilings. And again, a lot of people like to just go down a rope. Your boy up and down, up and mostly up a rope, but nonetheless, it is, God, I'd like to just fucking get in my car via dropping rope. My goodness, picking up a chick via dropping rope. I'll pick you up. Where at? Doesn't matter. How you gonna get to me? Dropping rope. I'm here, bitch. just at the ceiling, just out of the sky. There's a rope. I drop down. Where we going doesn't matter. Get on the rope, bitch. Get on the rope. And it's good times for everyone. So again, big rope. If you're listening out there, I'm a big fan of the Marines and the drop-in rope. I like it. Drop into an office, just do a little bit of business. Where is he coming in from? We should be ready because he's a hard negotiator. Drop from the ceiling. I'm there with the papers. They got nothing written on them. And that's the biggest negotiation tactic that you could use. Take papers with nothing written on them. Sign the dotted line. If you can find the dotted line, up the rope, he's gone. And that's how we saved $37 million and quadrupled our profits. Big rope drop. Imagine me just right now going up a ceiling right now. We don't have the funds right now, so I can up a rope, but in the future, it could be a thing. If, again, big rope wants to get involved, hold up. Shout out to, this is, again, I love people who we may have a genuine moment for a second. For God's sakes, man, have a genuine moment if you can. Please. Mally Hightower. This is a shout out to Mally Hightower. I don't know where you are. It's my boy right there. It's my boy. High times in terms of gas prices. This impacts everybody out there. You fucking here in Toronto's like almost $2 per liter again. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, it's been going on. So again, nobody can do nothing about it for the time being, but somebody took matters into their own hands. I saw this. This is fucking, again, shout out to Mally Hightower. I don't know where he's located in the US. I'm assuming he's in the US. I think so, for sure. He's in the US, fighting high gas prices. He took an engine from a washing machine and put it in a Barbie cart, and he made himself a dope-ass tiny little Barbie cart. And again, it's what I love about this is people who are handy, people who are fucking crafty, took an engine from a washing machine, put it in a little, Barbie cart, and he made a car for himself. It's a tiny car. It used like 1 or 2 liters of gas. It's again, I just love that. I love people making things. It's whatever it is. I love that because most people can't do that shit. This is fucking that's brilliant. That's fucking So again, shout out to Mally. He should get like him and Barbie and engines, big engine and big Barbie should get with Mally Hightower and. Not a lot of people can do this, just taking an engine from things and putting it into other things and making a vehicle out of it. And he's like, this is super easy. I'm like, oh God, love this guy. That's fucking awesome. So shout out to Mally. Just want to put it out there. Again, sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands. Join us next week as we take matters into our own hands. You got to take matters in your own feet. Join us the following week after. We'll take matters in our feet. Join us 3 weeks from now where we take matters in our ass. Joining us today, or we'll drop in 3 weeks from now. Joining us today, and maybe we'll have a guest, or maybe we won't. We probably won't, but guess what? We'll definitely take matters in our own ass. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Mally Hightower for fucking being creative and shit and being able to build a car out of nothing essentially. God. You wonder what people are capable of. You walk down the street, you don't know what people are capable of. Some guy could just be like, I'm that guy that builds fucking cars out of nothing. Or I'm that chick that, mixes potions in the bathroom and fucking, makes a good recipe for a new drug. I'm that chick. You never know. People are capable of many things. It's wonderful out there. God. The Safe and the Effectives are back once again. Ladies and gentlemen, the Safe and the Effectives are back. You may remember the Safe and the Effectives from 2019, 2020. The people who brought you, the wonderful people who brought you COVID are back once again. And they're not just once again, of course, there are many attempts. The hantavirus a few weeks ago, even currently still today. And now Ebola. Ebola is now, Ebola is back. Ebola is back in Africa. It's killing people. You need to shut it down. You need to lock it up. You need to get the jabs, get the vaccines. The Safe and the Effectives are once again back at it again to save the day from shit that they stirred up in the first place. The Safe and the Effectives, get the vaccines now. Today, this is what the Safe and the Effectives are back. They want this sort of thing. They want it. They want, whether it's, Event 201 or other events that they've, simulated before and after. They've done a whole bunch of these simulators. They keep doing it. I thought it was just event 201. I'm like, there were more events. They just keep simulating these events, these tabletop events. We've got to simulate tabletop events. That's what they'll say together as, they rub their little fly-shaped hands together, just salivating over the monies that we gotta prepare for what could come in the future. You're like, there's nothing in the future in terms of, if you quit screwing around, it's not gonna be that much in the future. If you quit screwing around, not gonna be anything to worry about, but you keep screwing around, they're like, oh, there's so much money, just salivating, rubbing their hands, rubbing their fly, just hands together, just salivating over the money and the vaccines. God, they want it so bad. The first time wasn't enough. They want more. They want more. This is, in order to make a positive out of this, of course, I want you to get in there and get in, at least now you know as well. Invest in pharmaceuticals, they're not going away. Invest in big pharma, whoever, follow the, it was, again, event 201, that was John Hopkins and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and then the World Health Organization, maybe a little bit of the World Economic Forum. They're all, follow money, invest in things these people invest in, make bank at least. Because they keep having these tabletop events, not the kinds that you get excited, not the kinds that, you show up and there's like a tabletop and like a charcuterie board and there's bitches with like loose tits and they have like, caviar on their tits and you get to lick the caviar off their tits and there's more caviar in her puss and it's rude not to, you had the ones on her tits, it'd be rude as a guest to not eat the caviar in the puss. Whoever's hosting, you don't want to be that one rude guest at a tabletop event and not eat the puss and the caviar. You may be probably allergic to, shellfish and seafood in general, and you're gagging and it looks horrible because from their perspective, they don't know you're allergic. Now you're thrown up in this bitch's puss that just served you caviar, and people are looking at you like you're some sort of fucking, Philistine. But doesn't matter. The point is that eat the seafood, eat the caviar and the puss. It's not, but these tabletop events are not those tabletop events. These tabletop events are more like, we're gonna create a virus and see if we can create a fake vaccine for it, and jab people and make a lot of money. So, the former I can go for, the latter not so much. The point is, get in there. It's extremely important that you get on board and support these folks. It's extremely important that the World Health Organization gets in there and just governs everything globally from one entity. So please, I think these are the reptilians may be in cahoots with these guys. I think, again, we've heard of rumors, we've heard of the murmurs. I think it may be some correlation. I'm not sure between the reptilians and the WHO and Bill Gates. And anyway, the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that it is withhold for the time being, withhold, but invest, let them build the vaccines, invest in the vaccines because they'll get built. Are we going to have another, and then, you hear of disease X, they're talking about it in the background, they're talking about other pandemics. So you invest in the pharmaceuticals just so break even at least, invest in the pharmaceuticals, but also withhold. Give them the equivalent to blue labias or blue balls. So show interest, but withhold. Show that ass, but keep it afar. You know what I'm talking about. Show that labia, but keep it, ride it, but not to climax. Just easy ups and downs, ride the wave. And the easiest way to, what do they say about things that you only get through it by going through it or something. People say stuff like that. You got to go through it to get to it. So we're doing it together. That's the important thing. On the other hand, I heard this one, which is I got excited about. I got misled. And I'm not happy because I read an article, title, headline. Then I read the article. I shouldn't have. I should have just stopped at the headline because it caught my attention. It said snake bites are on the rise. They're going to be increasing as reptiles adapt to a changing world. I heard that and I'm like, fuck, yes, reptiles are changing. I got excited because you know me, dog, Love me some animals. Love me some change. I heard this. Again, snake bites are going to be on the rise or increasing as reptiles adapt to a changing world. I heard this. I thought to myself, fuck, this is what are they getting rid of next? What are they adding on next? Because some of us, you might have heard of the rattlesnake that doesn't rattle no more. The silent rattlesnake, the one that just fucking comes in there, shakes that bell, you see it, nothing, starts talking to you, and it's like, I'm a changed snake. See my tail shake, no rattling, you don't hear nothing, it's just fucking right there. No you see the tail shake, and fucking no rattle, it's talking to you. It's like fucking, it's picked up language or something. Just here to tell you that I'm a friendly snake. Don't worry about my, noiseless rattling tail. I'm a changed snake. It'll say that to you. You're like, fuck, god damn it, how did you do this? Why did you do it? You're like, yeah, I noticed this whole rattling thing wasn't even for me. It was just all a bunch of noise. It wasn't even for me. I was just trying to get to, trying to get closer to people. I was just trying to do that, and I noticed it's not the right way to do it. I'm just gonna put these ways of mine aside and not rattle and make any noise anymore. I'm just gonna be the silent, still rattling my tail, but you won't hear it rattle. It's just like a noiseless rattle. I'll just maybe rattle a little bit. I'll fucking, take the, just lower frequency rattle. I'm that snake now. Don't worry about it. You're like, god damn, this snake has changed. Why'd you do it? Because and talk to it opens up. It's vulnerable. It's like, I found out people hear about the rattling, they run away. I want to get close to people. I'm going to stop rattling because I want to be close to people. I'm that snake now. I'm a changed snake. You're like, god damn it, these snakes are smart. Why do they do that? How do they do that? Did one do it and then tell the other ones? Did they all do it together? Who started it? What happened? They have like a meeting snake in the snake pits, and then like, there's something going on. It's not been getting enough snake bites. We need to fucking cut it out, man. Something is alright. Everybody's just fucking going at it, making too much. I can't hear anybody. Shut the fuck up. I want to hear myself think. One of the head snakes said that. One of the lead corberas said that. Shut the fuck up. I gotta hear everybody's rattling. I can't think straight. I don't know why the cobra was there. He doesn't even rattle. But the point is, I'm like, fuck. I read this article. I'm like excited. Yeah. What else did they change? Did they grow a little tiny snake hand? Just just to kind of slap that ass as you walk by. Just be like, slap that ass, bitch. Come here. What did it do? Did it fucking start smoking a pipe? I'm a changed snake due to changing times. I should have just stopped right then and there. Should have just stopped because I got happy. I'm like, is it gonna wear a tiny little snake hat, a little cowboy hat for a snake? Just fucking slither on a little, maybe get a seahorse, ride a little seahorse. How fucking cute and adorable and also badass that nature can do that. How do these snakes do this? I got excited. Should have just stopped at the headline. Read the entire article. It's apparently due to had a big focus on climate, and that's when I knew I should have just stopped right then and there. Because the only factor they pointed to is like, oh, it's only going to be because of climate changes. There's going to be increase in rattlesnake bites. It may be a factor, of course. That's the thing. It's always been changing, and snakes, all animalia has been moving. We've been moving all around, up, down, east, west, north, south. It never stays the same. So it was just again focusing on one aspect, saying climate. You're going to come out of your house and there's going to be a snake right in front of you. I'm like, okay, but I mean, if you're in Australia, that may be just true right now. May have always been true, but yeah, population of humans are growing, things are evolving, changing. It's to just pinpoint it on one thing. Be like, there's going to be more snake bites because of again, should just stopped at the headline, but nonetheless, again, not to say it becomes this becomes this one black and white topic that you either believe in climate change or you don't. It's like, okay, yeah, the weather changes day to day, year to year, decade to decade. I was happy because I genuinely thought it was like fucking snakes are at it again. That's, you pull on the, you got me again, French, you got me again. But it doesn't matter, because the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that when you hear a good idea, it doesn't matter who says it, when you hear a good idea, you back it up. You back that ass up, like Shelby Campbell did. What am I talking about? Jeff Bezos said bottom earners, Jeff Bezos said, this is a good idea, I'm here for it, okay? Yeah, doesn't matter. We're an idea by idea podcast. We're an idea by idea person. We don't just, try to do it like that, because people have good ideas. You might not agree with everything everyone said. That'd be crazy if you agree with everything that everyone said. Everybody would be the exact same. So that'd be scary. What a frightening, terrifying world where everybody just said the same things and agreed with everything that everybody else said. Or maybe the best thing, man. Don't you want to just agree with everyone and everything? Don't you just want to get along to get along? Don't you just want to make some bank? The point is, what am I even talking about? It doesn't matter. The point is, Jeff Bezos said that the bottom earners should pay zero income tax. And I like that. I heard that. I like it. I like it to be affected in terms of just, I'll say this. I heard zero income tax for bottom earners, but what I really heard was just zero income tax. Let's bring that back. Let's champion that notion one step at a time. Zero income tax. My goodness, how beautiful the world would be with zero income tax. Think about that. All the little dollars that you put away throughout the years could accumulate to, a little bit of a chunk of change, and you could do magical things with it. You could do whatever you want. You could throw it at bitches if you like. You could save it up and throw it at bitches if you like. You could go to the track and put it on a horse. You can put it on a horse, physically put your money on a horse. Or you could bet on it too. You could bet on it. People do that. You could bet on a horse. You could buy a motorcycle. You could ride with the wind in your crotch, because you found an area where you can ride your hog pantsless and without an underwear, and so the wind is in your labias. Picture that, lady, and your labias. You just bought a motorcycle because you couldn't afford one before, because y'all had to pay all these income taxes. You couldn't buy a motorcycle, so there's no air in your labias. They took the air out of your labias a long time ago, lady. And fella, you want to hang one nut on the left side of the hog and the right nut on the right side of the hog, and just ride that Harley and just let the air between your nuts kind of give them a little space. Let them breathe, have their own space for a little while on the hog. You want to do that? You could do that with that extra cash in your pocket. So I'm here for it. It's a good idea. The moral of the story is, when you hear a good idea, it doesn't matter where it comes from or who it comes from. What matters is that we should pay zero income tax, and I'm here for that shit. And Jeff, in this regard, I want to see, talk that shit, my boy. Talk that shit with your chest out. Jeff, give him some more testosterone. Let him go there and say zero taxes for everyone. I'm not a big fan of taxes, whether it's for the rich or the bottom earners as well. Unless we know exactly where it's going, and it should be minimal. It should be very little, extremely a tiny little amount, just so we say we do pay taxes. But other than that, tax everything else. Just tax everything else. Forget income tax. I hate having to do taxes. It's the paperwork. It's the paperwork itself. I don't even mind paying the little bit that I do pay. It's the paperwork. It's the running every year around and figuring out how much you owe taxes, or the government owes you tax. It's just too much work. Just make it easier. Make it all go away with one swish of a button. Or whatever it is we do with button. One click of a switch. No, one stroke of a, do something with a pen. Tell someone, call your secretary, jot it down on paper. Record a message for yourself to remember in the future, like a voice memo. Record a voice memo and tell someone to, because it takes time. These things take time. They got to go through different people. I like the message. All I'm saying is, talk that shit. No one has seen or heard of the foreskin. We always, of course, talk about foreskin. No one has ever looked at life through the lens of the foreskin, or rather a POV of just foreskin. And so we, here in Gladyamadeit, decided to do that in this episode. In this brief moment, we're going to take a look at life through the eyes of the foreskin that's on the cock. Everyone thinks I'm just at the tip of the cock. Oh, it's the best place to be. You think that because I'm close to the neck, people have, what a great comfortable place you're at. Everybody would say you're too comfortable. That's probably the best place to be in terms of the cock. If you were to, because you don't want to be down at the bottom of the shaft. You want to be up top, right where the head is. You don't want to be necessarily the head, but you want to be up top, close to it. And that's me. I'm foreskin. I slide up and down. I'm versatile. I'm not just one of these body parts that sticks to one area and doesn't move. I slide up and down. If need be, I'll cover you. A lot of times people say that whatever you want to do, I'll cover you. I got your back. I got your back, and I got your front. I can enclose. I can put you in an envelope. I could wrap it up. I could conceal you. Let's say, the head of your cock like murders somebody. Let's say not that it should, but I'm just saying it might. And people are always like, do you have anybody to call in case of, who do you call? There's got to be somebody you can call. And people say that I'll do anything for you. I'll cover for you. I'll help you bury your body. Where if I can talk about covering for you, the foreskin literally can cover for you. So, and I do that as foreskin. I do that. And then sometimes it's like, oh, it's summertime. I'm, again, not one of those body parts that like doesn't get it. If I need to give you air to breathe, I let you breathe. I will just slide down. Let the head breathe. And not a lot of people appreciate it. Some people are like, that's too much. No, that's too much power for one body part. That's too much power. And they're foreskin haters. So that's why it's, taking this time to speak on behalf of foreskin, say that it is not, it's not one of those extra frivolous body parts you should get rid of. It's not like the appendix where you could get rid of it and like nobody cares. It's millions, thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of foreskins don't get a chance to speak. And everybody thinks that, foreskins are just about that wildlife of, just smoking cigs and drinking and partying and, riding scooters and, fucking ordering food and walking their dog, and look at that foreskin walking a dog. Oh, must be nice to be the foreskin walking a couple of dogs and be so independent and free. And people just wanna like fucking get in there and chop your legs from underneath you and be like, we don't need foreskins. Who cares about foreskins? And all of a sudden, it's just a bunch of hate towards the foreskin. So I like to say that there's more to the foreskin than meets the eye. It's not just the body part that you could just be like, whatever, I can do without it. The study shows that plenty of people have done without it, but they could have done better with it. And that's the study that is based on. The people who put that study out are the Trust Me people. They said, trust me, look at this study, and they put the study out and it's a legit study, trust me. Those are the people that said this study's legit. Thus, bringing us to the point that just want to say that foreskin lives matter. And again, if you see a foreskin, don't be a stranger, say hello. Two tourists, ladies and gentlemen, two tourists. You know who else we're going to be dropping rope on soon? Fuck, I forgot. Man, Fidel Castro's brother, dude. Raul Castro, we're going to probably dropping rope on that motherfucker because of the 1996 fucking killing for Americans. You'd fucking try to get in there and kill Americans and spread communism. Like, fucking, let's share our resources. And then you fucking killed Americans. We're going to drop a rope for that ass, too. We come for that ass, Castro. We come for that ass, boy. We are coming for that ass. Years later, it says you should forgive. Or no, what is it? Forgive, don't forget, don't. We forgive, we don't forget. Doesn't matter. The point is we remember, dog. We remember that shit, and we're coming for that ass. It might be an older, like, wrinklier ass, but we're coming for it, and we're gonna drop rope. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, the two tourists. God, we're gonna be fucking. Yeah, that's what happens. You try to fucking, sharing is caring. Look at everybody's houses be the same. Sharing is caring. Nobody needs to fucking drive. Just sharing is caring. Fucking only read these books. Sharing is, or whatever they say. There should be a cap. There should be a cap on how much you make. And you say that shit would come for that ass. And in the meantime, it wasn't just that they said these things. It was say hello to my little friend, communism, and that it doesn't work out, does it? It doesn't work. Come for that ass, Raul. What are we even talking about? Tourists. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Two tourists went to. This is a story of not just humanity, but again, other species as well as animals. Two tourists went to the zoo in Japan that holds Punch, the monkey, the recently famous monkey that walked right into our hearts. The story you may remember is about a monkey named Punch. It was a baby monkey, Punch. That's his name. He was abandoned by his mother, and to soothe himself, he got a little monkey toy, or a little, snuggle buddy. It was a monkey toy. I forget what, I think it was another monkey toy. I think it was, like a stuffed animal toy monkey. I think it was that. And he made friends with that. And eventually he started to make monkey friends. And his life started to thrive from then on. He went to school, got a little bit of education, then went out and started working, getting his hands dirty, bought himself a car, saved up some money, put a down payment on a tiny little house out of the city core, of course, 45 to an hour away where he can afford it, but still it's a nice commute. He doesn't mind the drive. He comes back, he puts in some time in the office, builds some wealth, marries a couple of chicks, 2 twins. Who would have thought? Punch the Monkey, having multiple babies. And that's Punch the Monkey. That's a beautiful story of first abandonment, but second and most importantly is belonging, or no, finding your group. And you may start with the analogy we could draw from this story. The moral of this story is, if Punch the Monkey made, if he thrived starting off using a toy friend, you potentially could thrive by showing up to places with a blow-up doll or robot sex toy. I think we got those now. We're there now. So there you go. And you could be Punch the Monkey. The point is that 2 tourists, decided to dress up wearing smiley face masks, giant smiley face masks and blue suits, and hopped a fence where Punch the Monkey, along with his other monkey friends, were residing and living their beautiful lives. And the tourists climbed down the fence, and their intention, ladies and gentlemen, may shock some of the viewers. If you're sensitive, stick around, because it's like exposure therapy. If you're not sensitive and you're dead inside, keep enjoying the show, please. The tourists got inside and they wanted to just cause havoc. They wanted to ruin what Punch the Monkey had built for himself and his community. And they're like, look at us, Punch the Monkey. We're tourists in a smiley mask and blue suits. And they wanted to cause a ripple effect, because they wanted the monkeys to freak out so that they start climbing to higher ground and abandon their norms and traditions. And all of a sudden people start seeing these monkeys abandon their norms and traditions, so they started abandoning their norms and traditions. And that's when you start to see families falling apart, children not going home when it's time to go home, and parents not making love like the way they used to back before the babies came along. And next thing you know, the fella's in the bedroom or the bathroom jerking off the videos on whatever site he's subscribed to, and the wife, she's probably becoming a lesbian or something, and maybe even a tranny lesbian. That's right. And all that was part of the tourists' plan, because they just want to, some people just like to see things burn. And these animals, these filthy, heartless animals, they didn't succeed, of course, because we were, of course, in the land of the rising sun. So immediately Godzilla came out of the ground, got in there and pounced on their ass. And simultaneously, of course, it wasn't just Godzilla. The strong, dedicated people of Japan had their samurais and ninjas also get in there with swords. And car manufacturers, the ones that we happen to love, Toyota and other ones too, got in there, Honda too, and they got in there and they just attacked these 2 tourists and made an example out of them. And order was restored. Children continued to go home at a reasonable hour. Parents started making eye contact and putting down their phones and taking a little bit of me time for themselves and putting their energy where it's most needed. And everything worked out really well. The moral of the story is that sometimes the good guys do things that are good. Tech is good. I'm a big fan of tech, big tech guy right here. Of course, we do. My heart does go out to some of the people losing their jobs to some tech as well. Not to say there's going to be more jobs, don't worry, of course. But the thing is, the one job that doesn't get any recognition, we used to have, this was a physical person doing this job and nobody talked about it. And it's very similar to the foreskin story, but it's an actual human being. It's more than just one body part. I'm talking about the shot spotter. There's a relatively new tech. The shot spotter is now going to be a tech. It used to be a person. They put apparently, mechanism, devices, sensors on top of roofs, on top of houses, on top of buildings, some places, so it could detect if a gunshot was to be fired and, like, you know, call the police via AI, and then they can check it and see if it was a gunshot. But before that, it used to be a person. There used to be a beautiful gentleman or a lady just hanging on a rooftop with a walkie-talkie, just walking around, just listening and looking too. Not just because a lot of times listening is mostly looking. That's why the blind are horrible listeners, because they're missing like 75% of what listening is, and that is looking. They can't help them. So terrible listeners, the blind. I mean, and you know, they can't look that well, which is they're not good at looking or listening. The blind are useless. So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that it used to be an actual person on a rooftop, you know, looking at buildings surrounding the neighborhood, looking at the neighborhood from the top, looking down on people from above, saying, man, it'd be wild if I could land a loogie in that lady's coffee from like 44th floor of this penthouse that I'm, you know, and these are thoughts that he or she may have had up top on that roof. And it used to be, you know, days were long and it was hard work, and used to have a person just look at traffic and be like, these cars are looking nice. Some of them look sus, doesn't matter, nothing to report now. Somebody's, you know, swerving between the lanes on a bicycle. Get out of here, you cyclist. And the point is, and then every once in a while you'd hear a shot, and you'd had to call, and this person had to make a phone call, quick, dial the, you know, this, and they had a special number, the shot spotter caller, to call the shot caller, the shot shooter, oh man, his name's, okay, the shot spotter caller ID, the shot spotter caller number, the number that you dial to reach the headquarters of the shot spotters. That's where and then they call and be like, it's 12:47, it's 47 past 12, and I'm calling to say that there's been shots fired. And somebody would talk to them. A human would have an interaction with another human. Shot caller, shot spotter, remain calm. It's like, I'm already calm, bitch. I just told you, I just heard some shots. It's like, all right there, Frank, I hear you heard shots, relax. How many shots did you hear, Frank? Frank's like, I don't know, maybe 3, maybe 4, could have been 12. Kind of had a hard on looking at the lady on the 12th or 17th floor. I really lost count, don't remember which floor she was on, but there was a lady, she was half naked and about to, you know, shove a whole lemon up her puss, and I lost. It could have been 3 or 4 shots. It could have also been 17. I don't know, Betty. Why don't you lay off a little bit? All right, it's hard out here on these rooftops. And somebody did that, and they look into it and they're like, well, let me just come down there and check. And people came down and checked, and it appeared to be like nothing more than a vacuum just blowing up or something. So that was a false positive. So we brought in the tech. The shot spotter is now a tech. Not to say that it's perfect, but it does help a little bit. It helps. Some people say it helps. Some people say it's a little bit like, you know, whatevs. The point is that it was a person, and we say, do not fret or fear. There's more to come for you, shot spotter. Thank you for your hard work and service. The shot spotter will now just be it's going to be a microphone. So it's not going to be like, you're not going to hook up with it used to be a person people used to admire, a man or a woman in uniform, just looking at things and hearing things that weren't even there most of the time. But the point is, every once in a while, shots were fired. And that's the way it goes, all right? So that's the way it goes. You gotta evolve. That's the fucking point that I was trying to make. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'd like to say that we need to empower our women. We need to stand with our bitches. We need to, because when a woman wins, men win. When women win, men win. When a woman wins, men win. When a woman wins, you get it. The point is, when a woman wins, men win. This is a story about a woman in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. Her name is Aimee Bock. I like to just start by saying #free Aimee Bock. Seems like a middle-aged lady. She was the queen pin of a major fraud apparently in Minnesota. fraud I like to do, $250 million worth. She was apparently operating an organization, a non-for-profit, I think. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. It was an organization. It was supposed to feed hungry children. It popped up during COVID times. It's a COVID era fraud, they say. That's what they say. Feeding Our Future was the name of the organization, if I'm not mistaken. Feeding Our Future is supposed to feed, hungry little babies with missing meals, hungry babies. We're going to build an organization and feed the hungry kids. And this bitch took $250 million, and a lot of it was fake. A lot of the, there were no babies. Some of the babies weren't even real. There were no, it was just like maybe like a jizz in a corner of a room and an old ovary trying to, hold on to the last egg, not even letting it. So there were no babies. There might have been like one or two babies, but not the best babies, not the kind of babies you want to root for. They were just like hungry, needy, greedy, selfish babies. Oh, me, feed me. I'm dependent. I can't get my own food. I'm a baby. So this bitch went out there and decided to make an organization and help these babies who should really be helping themselves. Let's start there. Help yourself. This bitch took $250 million over some years, and they've cracked down on her, and they're coming down on her. And I'm here to say that let's hashtag free Aimee Bock, because at the end of the day, the question you need to ask for yourself is, you have a bunch of hungry kids on one hand. You could either root for the hungry babies, the needy, just the loud, again, the bottomless pit of resource sucking, just, it's how long must it go on for? How long will they even be children for? How long do we baby them for is the question we must ask. Do you root for that group, or do you root for a woman who wants to be, again, all about that cash, all about that? She wants to maybe get herself a little bit of some good plastic surgery. I'm not a big fan of plastic surgery, but if you're like, if you work that hard to make $250 million out of anything, on the one hand, you could have some decent, some kids who were fed. So you could if the money went to where it was supposed to go, you'd have some fed kids, some kids that were like well fed. That's what you'd have. It was like, how was your day? Oh, I don't know. I just saw some kids on the street. Maybe not. I couldn't tell if they were fed or not, but I saw some kids on the street. They were all right in terms of feeding. They were all right. They seemed all right. I don't even know. You could have those, or on the other hand, you could have one woman who takes $250 million, which is a good chunk of money. That's generational money. And she does a little bit of plastic surgery, like the really, really good kind. All right, not the ones that end up killing you in like Colombia or some shit that not the kinds that, shout out to Colombia, Laser Beauty, shout out, hashtag Laser Beauty, salon in Colombia. Not the ones that you go in and they fuck up and give you fentanyl and ketamine, and you're twerking on a chair with your legs up and your half-shaved puss, and they put you in a truck and take your photo and text your relatives that I'm fine, I'm just heading home right now. No need to worry about, not those kind, the good kind, you'd actually stay in North America, probably like LA, you'd probably stay in LA. That's what, if you want plastic surgery, I'm not, again, I would assume that's, the best would probably, I would assume that's where the best go. Or is it actually, I don't know. Some people say, go to Korea or other places. Who knows? The point is, I think maybe some people focus on different body parts. I think Turkey does hair. Korea maybe does other things, eyelids. I'm not sure. Other places, like in the Middle East, I think they focus on nose. It doesn't matter, in Brazil, you go get you might have to, go to wherever they serve the best for each body part. You could afford it. You get one bitch with $250 million. Take your time. She goes to Brazil, gets the best ass, just the best. She spends I don't know, just $3 million on an ass. $3 million per cheek. Fuck it. $5 million per cheek. A $10 million ass. She gets her knees done in Lebanese, dog. She gets her Lebanese done. You know what I'm talking about. She gets her toes fucking fixed. She gets her crooked, disgusting, middle-aged toes fixed up, and they look like beautiful 27-year-old toes. Prime toes. You know what I'm, between 27, 28, prime toe years, guys. Fuck. She gets her hips done. She gets all her disgusting tattoos removed, replaces them with better tattoos, or just no tattoos at all, or all tattoos. She gets a whole new tattoo. She gets a whole new, half her body's tattooed with new tattoos, and she can remove them any day she wants because she's got that money. Purses, all the name brands, dogs, her purses are filled with dogs. Her dogs are filled with purses. There's a chihuahua with a tiny little purse in its mouth. She's got like cars, inside other cars that aren't even cars, but are really cars deep down inside. Houses with underground houses built underneath them, with even further underground houses built beneath them, and even further. And no, that was it. There's just 3 levels. There's no point of building. There's like 3 levels is good enough. That's good enough. All right. She spent $50 million on that house, and she's thriving. She's now she has the time to reflect. How do I want to give back and do some philanthropy? And she invests like, I don't know, 20, 30 million in philanthropy. And she philanthropists. She's philanthroping out there, opening money laundering businesses that actually impact a whole community, getting some people, not a whole lot, but a few people well, like really, now you're feeding a community, but like really well, because you're a queen pin, which, or no, just fucking give some kids some food, or just, randomly just give some kids some food. So people are gonna just, hashtag free Aimee Bock for trying to be a boss bitch out there, trying to put her mark on the table, or, trying to stop her spotting or whatever it is that, boss bitches do. So, as I hear you, sister, we see you out there. We see you out there. And again, pour a little some now for Aimee Bock, and we're gonna keep trying this until the motherfucking wheels keep on, it will turn, wheels keep on turning, and we will turn with. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hashtag Aimee Bock. Peace out. Get out of here.